The following opinions are solely those of BoatTEST.com and its test captain.
Hi, Captain Steve for BoatTEST.com, and today we're going to be conducting a sea trial of the newest member of the Sundancer lineup from Sea Ray, the 460. Let's get right into it with a look at our operational features. We'll start with a look at the helm. There are soft tones to both the panel and the console, which has a compass in the middle. The main panel has a pair of 12-inch displays to both sides of a pair of air conditioning vents and the 4-inch vessel view display showing the engine gauges. Of course, the main displays also have the ability to show the engine instrumentation. Below is a stitched leather panel with a storage compartment to the side, rocker switches that are lighted when activated, the VHF, the remote control for the spotlight, the wheel is mounted to a tilt base, and additional storage is below. At a sub-panel to the right, we have the engine start-stops, trim tab controls to operate them both manually and automatically. Behind are the Cummins digital engine controls, and finally the Zeus joystick to give full maneuverability around the dock thanks to the pod drives. Opening windows to both sides not only allow for ventilation, but a good view of the starboard side from the helm. The two-person helm seat has ultra-leather upholstery, custom embroidery, firm back padding, individual bolsters, and flip-down armrests. Below the helm, there's a pull-out visibility platform that makes running the boat better for shorter captains. All the way to the bow, the rail height is 31 inches. There's a vertically mounted windlass with a chain stopper just ahead, all leading to a stainless steel anchor roller recessed into the tow rail. A remote-controlled spotlight is just alongside, and behind that are the two foot controls to operate the windlass. At the swim platform to starboard, there's an opening panel that houses the shore cord on an electric reel, and the control switch is just above. To the side is the TV cable connection, then a freshwater connection, and the city water inlet at the bottom, all under a hatch that is back-gelled, held open by a gas assist strut, and closed with a turn and lock latch. All the ship's electrical is controlled by a cleverly concealed panel behind a seat back to the starboard side of the salon. 120/240 to the left panel, 12/24-volt to the right. We enter the engine room from a hatch in the cockpit deck. Inside we have the twin 550 horsepower Cummins engines, and the Zeus pods are easily accessible. To the port is the generator. Fuel filters are all mounted to the forward bulkhead. Sea strainers are all easily accessible, and look at this, the mounts for spare propellers. To starboard, we see the hot water heater and the two house batteries. Additional house batteries are to port. Now, let's get her underway and see how she performs. The Sea Ray 460 Sundancer has length overall of 46 feet 8 inches, a beam of 14 feet 2 inches, and a draft of 55 inches. With an empty weight of 36,208 pounds, 75% fuel, and 3 people on board, we had an estimated test weight of 39,461 pounds. With a pair of 550 horsepower Cummins QSB 6.7s driving Zeus pods, we reached a top speed of 32.7 knots at 3,300 RPM. Best economic cruise came in at 2,500 RPM and 22 knots. At that speed, the 34.3 gallon per hour fuel burn translated into a range of 216.2 nautical miles while still holding back a 10% reserve of fuel. We also noticed, however, that the 460 Sundancer ran at 0.6 nautical miles per gallon at all settings over planing speed, so this is a boat that can be set with more of an eye towards comfort and prevailing conditions rather than concern over economy. And speaking of prevailing conditions, we tested this boat on a windy day in 2 to 3 foot chops, so that clearly is going to have an adverse effect on performance. In fact, our 32.7 knot top speed did differ from Sea Ray's internal testing that showed a top speed of 34 knots. She accelerates with practically no bow rise and quickly settles into a 3-degree bow-high cruise attitude. She handled the chop well with minimal pounding only at top speed. Larger waves showed her plunging right through with good authority. Normally, with the reduced turning radius of pods when underway, it makes for a more lackadaisical handling boat, but this one was quite sporty. She rolls 11 degrees into hard performance turns, which still remain comfortable. Bringing her back to the dock again showed how well she handles, with the joystick doing all the heavy lifting so that even with the crosswind, we were able to bring her sideways nice and gently to the dock. But the real treat is how well we can see the whole side from the open side window. This is really where the precision comes from, and the joystick is responsive enough where anyone can make it look easy. It's hard to find fault with the Sundancer, and it seems that each new model has improvements that just make them better. With the combination of Cummins engines and the Zeus joystick, this is a sweet handling boat around the dock, and our tests in some less than ideal conditions shows that she's not just a pretty face to hang around the dock. She's got cruising in her DNA, and it's easy to feel. And that's our sea trial of the 460 Sundancer from Sea Ray. For BoatTEST.com, I'm Captain Steve. We'll see you on the water.